I have told viewers before that I'm not political, which I'm not. But some have disagreed, saying that in this day and age, everything is political. If you aren't red, you're blue. If you aren't blue, you're red. And if you really don't want to support a broken system by choosing a side, too bad. Choose a side. The political theater is a machine creating a line in the sand where you have to pick what side you're on. But is it all that simple? Is red and blue an accurate depiction of Americans? Or is it all just a play where protagonists rise and fall, villains emerge and are crucified at the stake, or become heroes in the wake? I'm Skylar Deaton, and welcome to the Political Theater. Quickly before we get into this video was edited by my good friend Noah. His tag is on screen. Thank you to him. And if you enjoy this, please subscribe. I would love to hit 10K. We're about 20% of the way there. But anyways, I hope you enjoy the video. In America, approximately 40% of Americans claim to be independent, actually making it the largest political party in the US. Yet, technically, there has never been an independent president, with a few, kind of exceptions. George Washington was technically independent, though he was backed by the Federalist Party. And John Tyler ran as a Whig, which was a political party back in the day, but was basically kicked out of the party. Also, he was a VP that held the president's position. So really, no independent presidents. Political scientist Schneider is quoted saying there are thousands of interests of Americans and only two political parties. Which, by the way, he said in 1942, almost 100 years ago, people were saying this, and nothing has changed. And the worst part is nothing looks like it's ever going to. So with this in mind, who is benefiting from the two-party system? It's clearly not the American people. So who is it? First and foremost, and the most obvious answer, are news outlets. Media in general has relied on this kind of marketing. Consistently, the top news outlets has been Fox News, MSNBC, and CNN. According to Fox News, the #1 by a landslide, it has advertised itself as an alternative to the left of center offerings of the news marketplace. MSNBC, the #2 slot, are self-proclaimed left-leaning, specifically progressive. And with these two, and three if you include CNN, who claim to be neutral, though I do believe there's a consensus that they are more left-leaning, but these three have a stranglehold on the market, especially Fox News. And these political standings are tied to their identity. It's how they lock in their viewers. If you're a Republican, you cannot watch CNN, and vice versa. The two-party system makes it so easy for them. They don't have to report news, do good reporting, truthful reporting. All they have to do is cater to the people that are watching them. And this is a perpetuated cycle. The viewership of these places already had their political standing, so they went to the place that supplied them with it. Then that place only reports what these kind of people want to see, and it goes in a circle. So more come in. Even if it's not wholly truthful, they don't have to. They have marked their territory, drawn a line in the sand, and said, this is our viewership. And while Fox News has a stranglehold on the right, CNN and MSNBC are competing for the left. That's why they're beaten out by Fox News. And I could go into this further, but you understand. And the second, it benefits the representatives. It's very similar to the news outlet scenario. But the goal of a political party is to win the presidency. That's pretty much it. According to ProtectDemocracy.org's Trapped in the Two-Party System, voters find it hard to reject their parties as they tend towards more extremism. The two-party system breeds extremism as it tries to top one another. That's how we've gotten here in the first place. It's either very far this way or very far this way. and there is no middle ground. And combined with the huge cost it takes to win a presidency, the entry level of a campaign is near impossible without backing from one of these two parties. An independent party never stood a chance. And this is why no one ever runs as independent, for the most part. I mean, I'm sure there's outliers out there, but there's no money in it. These presidents have to run as one of these two things to get money to back them and to get votes. It's so easy for the people we elect. All they have to do is stand up there and say what every other Republican or Democrat person is saying, and they don't have to come up with these things themselves. They don't have to have their own ideas. They want your vote, and the way to do that is to just say what everybody else is saying, even if they don't believe it themselves. This is because, in quoting here, because there is nowhere for unhappy voters to go, save becoming non-voters. Instead, they over-focus on what they like about a party, rationalize away the things they don't like, and begin to excuse the actions they previously would not have. A vote for an imperfect copartisan may be psychologically easier than a vote for the opposition. And now we're here. We have to pick a side. As each party has been trying to top each other's level of extremism, we find that there is no middle ground. People are complex, and they have been manipulated by a machine that has existed long before probably anybody watching this has been alive, to pick a side. Everyone knows somebody who just feels like they can't even conversate or relate to or be friends with somebody who is the opposite party as them. And on the smallest scale of change, all we can do is not be that person. Only when we all come together can we make a change. Don't align with things that you don't believe in just because the alternative is worse. Create something new and better. Okay, so as I descend through the layers of this rabbit hole, there is a very little chance this video will be monetized, which is fine. It happens to us all the time, as you can see here. But that doesn't matter to me if you enjoyed it and you subscribe or just get something out of this. So if you did, if you appreciate it, feel free to like, subscribe, comment. I love it. But let me get into layer 2. This is kind of more like events. Things that in recent time have happened for the sole purpose of the political theater, for the sole purpose of the division, the act that these people are altruistic or that they care about us. It's just acts that were done to manipulate the population. Just a few. And it's twisted and it's evil, but it works. Let me give you a quick example. We just ended the longest government shutdown in US history. The shutdown occurred due to a disagreement between the two parties as to what should happen with the healthcare subsidiaries. And while this went on for 43 days, the people in Congress were sitting, getting paid, while real Americans who worked for the government or relied on the government were not. And neither side would budge for over a month, showing nothing but loyalty to their party and not to American people. Truthfully, both sides are at fault. Either side could have at any point made an agreement, a give and take. But they didn't care how this was affecting people. They wanted to show that they had nothing but red blood or blue blood. And all while this was happening, the official White House website did nothing but blame the Democrats, when they were both equally at fault.
The Democrats tried to extort our country.
This was political theater. They wanted to do nothing but show that the other side would break first. And whatever the truth was could be spun in either direction for either person. It was all a stunt. Speaking of stunts, after a tragic death of a political figure, Trump sent out a heartwarming response that was AI. How much can a person truly care about somebody if the best they can do is muster up an AI video? Then, in turn, he felt the need to overcorrect political theater. Now let's talk about the Epstein files. Don't worry, we're not forgetting. In Trump's campaign, he claimed that he was going to release them.
Classify the Epstein files.
Yeah, I would.
Fast forward, and he supposedly does. And people were outraged. They released nothing, and even doctored video of his death afterwards. They lied to us, and now we're here. Trump now claims it is all a hoax.
Thousands of pages of documents have been given, but it's really a Democrat hoax.
And the opposing party just released emails that they've had for who knows how long that almost directly implicate Trump in this. But not enough to where you could be 100% sure. And now Trump, in response to that, says he's going to release everything. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to release everything. 6 months after he did it the first time, and now we know he has a habit of doctoring things before he releases it, both parties had access to the files while in office. Both are refusing to release them. But now the Democratic Party wants to release a few emails, leave a few breadcrumbs. Now that it's no longer their problem, now that they aren't in the White House, they are conveniently begging for the release, when this was not the case a few years ago. And now that it's the Republicans' problem that they are in the White House and they are supposed to release them, they are refusing, calling it a hoax. They are toying with Americans, and the truth is both sides don't want to do it, or they just would. This is all an act of political theater. At first, the Republicans seemed like the good guys demanding the release. Now the Democrats look like the good guys demanding the release. They only are doing it to benefit them. It's political theater. Not to mention that email where there is supposedly a picture of Donald Trump blowing Bill Clinton. But my whole point of this section is to just show people the manipulation at work. And I know it's obvious, but all I'm doing is offering a lens where you can view politics through and see the manipulation at work. And this is just a few examples. There's a lot more that aren't so YouTube appropriate. But it's your choice to use the lens or not. And I get it if you don't want to, because it's a little depressing at first. When you just see everything they're doing as just trying to manipulate the people, it can feel bad. But I think it's hopeful. You cannot get so caught up in it and then fall for the trap where you have to choose a side. Why do we ever have to choose the good of two poisons? Why do we have to pick our poison? There are other options. And with that, we move on to the final layer. In the 1940s, the CIA began Operation Mockingbird. Allegedly. But it's all but confirmed at this point. Operation Mockingbird focused on manipulating the news medias and outlets in order to spread propaganda. This was during the Cold War. Now, they took large-scale control of the media through journalists and civic groups. Supposedly, this shut down in 1970 after being exposed. But did it? In Flesh Simulator's video, Is Reddit a PSYOP? Which I recommend you go watch if you haven't, but he reveals Reddit's most addicted city with over 100,000 visitors is an Air Force base. An Air Force base with, mind you, a population of 3,000, where they study social interactions between people online. Just boiling this down here, it is very likely that the CIA is moved on from traditional news, though I'm sure they have their fingers in the pot there too, but to online social interactions to manipulate the public. They have mastered the art of the public opinion. They have infinite access to news outlets, and so many people dedicated to studying the people online and how they respond to things. And let's just pretend I'm 100% right here, if you don't believe me. The CIA has constant control of the news and have mastered the art of swaying the public opinion. But would it be realistic if they were like, oh, the White House is controlled by Republicans now. Let's flip the switch to sway the public opinion to Republicans, or vice versa. No, they aren't doing that. As I mentioned at the very first layer of this video, it benefits the people in charge to keep this feud going on between red and blue. You would think that the people in charge would want to use everything in their power to stay that way. Unless, of course, they aren't the ones in charge. And I'm not gonna go into the deep state. There are a ton of videos out there online that could do it better than me. Specifically, I recommend Johnny Harris's The Deep State Explained video if you want to look into it. But the deep state is a part of the government that isn't elected into position, as well as very secretive. Many people in Congress have no idea what's going on. These are possibly the real people in power. And what we watch is a WWE style fight for the person who gets to sit in the big chair in the big shiny house. And while they do make decisions that impact us, at the end of the day, they don't get to do anything that doesn't go past the real people in charge first. At least that's how it seems at the bottom of the rabbit hole. But that's a bummer, and I don't want that to be my future. We fight on the front lines while the people in charge sit back and watch and laugh. So what do? It has never been us versus us. We are all people, and we can all be on the same team. And if they aren't for everyone, then they aren't for anyone but themselves. And the whole point of this video, to put it in a nice, sweet sentence, is it's all about coming together. It is us versus them. If everybody fought the battles together, we would always win. I mean, look at the Epstein files. It's working. Everyone unanimously said that this was bad. And it's taking a while, but it's breaking through. And will we get the truth? Probably not. But the fact is that they have to listen. Something so uniting like that. So keep going. Love each other. Find the common ground. And if that doesn't work, I have a full plan to overthrow the government. And it's pretty simple. All we have to do is get everybody in the US to stop paying their taxes all at once, and the whole place would fall apart. Thank you for watching.